Folks, so welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at these WestinTrends chairs. These are for outside. I guess you could use them inside if you wanted to, but they're basically an outdoor chair, perfect for patios and porches and stuff like that. I have a few similar type chairs to this, and the reason why I got these was to replace some Adirondack chairs because a lot of friends and family that I know, they're getting a bit older and sitting in those way lean back chairs is too much for them. And so I'm getting these to replace those. So let's talk about some of the features, and then the other thing I want to do in this video is give you some tips on assembly, which I think will speed things up compared to the instructions that were given. So the thing with these is they are made out of kind of like a polywood, which I find to me is perfect for you know, if you need to wipe them off, clean them off. It's either you can easily hose them off, pressure wash them off. I wouldn't go like real severe with a pressure washer on them, but if you stand at a distance from them, you could do it that way, or just to wipe them down. So they're easy for maintenance. I find they survive pretty good outside also too in the elements as well. And the other thing too here on the front, which is nice, is it kind of curves a little bit, so that gives you a nice bit of support there on your back of your leg. I find that works very well. Also too, the armrest here, nice wide armrest. I think it is about 4 inches wide on both those armrests. So you could even put a drink there. You just have to watch you don't knock it over, but you know, plenty of room for your arms and all that. I would say if you're real tall, then the armrests are maybe slightly low for someone like that. But I think for most folks, the armrests are pretty much at a perfect height. The distance in the seat there is about 20 inches or so. Which, you know, for most folks is going to be enough. I'm a big tank, so for me, I fit just fine in there, you know, but, you know, I'd say that works well for probably most folks out there. The seat back there, that has kind of a slight angle to it, so it is, I find, perfect for like sitting on the porch and stuff. So it's not excessive or anything. A little bit of an angle, but that works pretty good. Probably, you know, relaxing on the porch, you don't want to be sitting too far straight up. So I think the angle they put on that is just about right. Also, I think for most folks too, being able to put your feet on the ground, I think is very possible with this as well. So overall, you know, in terms of dimensions, pretty good chair and pretty good construction. So I bought 5 of these. And so far I have 2 of them together. So the third one I put together, I'm going to give you tips on how to put it together. Here's the other one I got here. This is a tan beige one. So a little bit of a different color. The other thing I find is quality overall, pretty solid it seems. I think these are going to last for years. There's no manufacturing type imperfections I could really find. They're very stable. So as long as the ground itself is stable, then you shouldn't have any trouble with them wobbling. If your ground is unstable, well, then they might wobble because these are pretty well straight in terms of their construction. So nothing was off at all, really. Pretty solid, pretty stable. So also the weight is about 40 pounds or so. So unless it's a hurricane or something, I don't think they run much of a risk of getting blown around or anything like that, so that's a good thing. Okay, folks, so now it's time to put the third one I have together. I just took a nice 15-minute nap, actually, in the second one that I built. So that was very pleasant, and so now we're going to get this all unpacked. Pretty simple overall. One of the nice things is they label everything with a little sticker on it with a letter, so, and then the bolts and everything are labeled with a number. The instructions are pretty straightforward. Now, one thing is I will show you kind of the shortcut I took, which helped a lot. I think the way they tell you to put it together, that really slowed me down a fair bit. And mostly that involves the back of the chair. I'll get into that in a second. Other than that, pretty easy to put together. Also, they do give you 2 tools to put it together. I ended up using the wrench a lot. But I also got a drill bit for my power drill, which helps sometimes speed up the process. Not necessary, but it is something you can do. Folks, the big top tip that I found to save time and hassle during assembly is not to put the seat back there initially, because what I found as I went through the whole instruction process is I had this loose back kind of getting in the way of flipping this over and the seat around, moving it around, and putting on all the legs and arms and all that stuff. So I highly recommend, again, follow the instructions as you so choose, but leave that for the end. So that's exactly what I did, was I took care of the legs and arms first, slid that in at the end. Now, one thing you do need to do is make sure that you leave the nuts and bolts just slightly loose, so that way you can slide that back in, and then there's 4 bolts that go right through and attach to the back. I found that just saved so much time. Let's get started. So we went ahead and got started here. So the medium-sized bolts, there's 10 of those. So we've got one right here to get started. Again, I've left the back off, so this one here would end up going into the back of the chair. Then we have our shortest bolts. The 4 shortest bolts are for the cross beams at the very bottom of the chair, and those do not require a nut or washer. This one does, and then I went ahead and put the arm on the left side. So there are 2 medium-sized bolts here with nuts and washers on the other side, and then our short bolt right here. The longest screws, these go to the back of the chair, so we don't have to worry about these until the end. Go ahead and flipped it over when I put the back leg on, the front leg on, then we'll worry about the armrest. Notice with the cross beams, they'll have a sticker that says this side up, so just make sure you have that adjusted. Again, I left everything slightly loose for future adjustment. One section that will require kind of a little bit of patience is just the armrest. And I found the easiest thing to do, and this is why I don't like putting the back on first, is to put it on its side, whichever side you're working on. And that way you can kind of look down through the holes and see the ground. Use that to kind of get your screw and the arm piece lined up with the leg. And so it just takes, I don't know, this one went in, for instance, real easy. This one I had to kind of move back and forth, up and down, and gradually get it to get seated in place. Not a big deal, you just got to be a little bit patient with it, and you'll get there. Find helps is just to have it well lit here from the side, and just kind of look at the armrest at the angle. Go ahead and have your screw already started here, and then basically with your hands, you'll be able to see where the hole is on the armrest, and you can kind of jiggle things back and forth to get that screw to make contact with that hole and get it through. Okay, now the last step is we just need to put the back on. So you can see I already got the screws started, and just have basically so the tips are just ready to stick out there. Same thing on the other side as well. I'm just getting the screws started so the tips are just sticking out right there. We'll go ahead and get the back, and then go ahead and attach it. And then the last thing we have to do is just tighten up all the screws. So folks, there we go. Got it all assembled. Last thing I did after I put the back on, which took like less than a minute, I just went around and checked every single screw and bolt that I put in with my power drill and a wrench to make sure everything was tight, and we are good to go. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and wrap up the video. We got a little bit better light today, and here we are with 3 of the completed chairs. Still have 2 more to go. But these 3 here are looking really good, and I've already enjoyed sitting in them, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with them. They're definitely nice chairs. Thought the quality on them was real nice putting them together, and you know, they're just very nice quality chairs overall. So anyways, definitely check these out, folks. They are nice chairs to have, and if you want an alternative from the Adirondack chair with the big sloping back, this is an interesting way to go, good way to go. So anyways, check them out, and y'all have a good day.